What's going on, everybody? Today is Monday, December 18th, 2023. We are just 1 week away from Christmas. I hope everybody's feeling in the holiday spirit. I'm certainly very happy to see all of you. Tonight's stream, I decided to title...
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah,
Mr. Rogers.
I decided to title tonight's stream Sweet D and Salty Drew. I don't know, for some reason... That's just what came to mind when I was trying to think about this stream. So thought it was another good episode, and I'm excited to break it all down with you guys. So let's not waste any time. Let's dive right on in. All right. My name is John Dunphy Valadares. It's getting a little bit incestuous in here, it seems, because I'm joined, as always, by my fellow tribe mates, Mr. Kyle Petty O'Kane, Miss Gina Morgino Petty O'Kane, and of course, Jay has become part of my family. Jay Hughes Dunphy Valadares, and then we just have Mikey Martin. So
I'm just gonna
head on
out.
At Mikey Marmon.
the only single in the building.
Wow.
You gotta keep your options open, you know?
Jury's still out.
Yeah. But we are Strat Chat, your favorite reality TV podcast. Find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. All social media platforms. We're out there. Come and find us. Like, comment, subscribe. And find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, places like that. Leave us a really nice review. It'd be very helpful. But yeah, there's a lot of shenanigans going on tonight, eh?
So chaotic already.
Yeah,
I can't do that. I can't.
Oh my god, I'm getting nervous.
It doesn't make it.
Getting nervous.
It just doesn't make it.
He's gonna
That's why I always do this.
Still effective.
Well, so a couple of the biggest events that happened in this episode, of course, were DEE winning her second immunity challenge of the season.
I cannot wait to get into that because that was a wild win.
It was. And Drew gets sent home. So Team Marmon, thank God, takes their second hit of the season.
Wow.
The entire world is cheering.
Sometimes you gotta trim the fat. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Totally.
It's funny saying that about Drew, who doesn't have not even a little bit of fat on him.
Who is concerningly skinny. Yeah, after this episode especially, I was like, all right, get him out of here. It's time. I've had enough. I can take the hit. I'm still 2-1-1-1, so we're good.
Yeah.
At least it feels a little bit more evened out, all right? There is a potential, depending on how Wednesday goes, there's a potential for us to go into Final Four with each of us having something. So I'll take that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I don't want that, but that would be fun.
Actually, what's funny about this, and I can already tell this is going to be all over the place this stream, but what's funny about this is that Kyle is really the only person that has a guarantee of who he knows is going to be in Final Four. He knows that Jake will be there because we saw Jake get that idol in this, which means Jake, and he can only use it this next tribal coming up. Right. So of course he's going to use it whether he's in danger or not, which means that Jake is the only member right now that is guaranteed to be Final Four.
That's right. K-Petty's
as he should be.
I would be hesitant to call a guarantee just because he did say specifically that he's trying to do something big and flashy with this idol, and we've seen from him in the past his big flashy moves don't always tend to work out so
Kyle Petty has left the chat.
I'm not saying I want him to go by any means, but I just want to throw out there that there is a possibility that could blow up in his face.
Listen, I've been saying for weeks, I think I've said it in the chat a couple of times, I've been saying that I am anticipating losing him in Fire, and I do not want that to be the case at all, but that's the kind of heartbreak
That's
that I'm
always
expecting
tough.
to have on Wednesday.
Man.
Mikey loses his second player. He's getting a little nervous. He's trying to throw cold water on Kyle's fun here.
That's all right. That's all right.
Listen, I still haven't recovered from season 44's fire making challenge. That would really that destroyed me. So
yeah.
For your sake, I hope you don't have to go through what I went through last season.
You made that sweet. You made that sweet. Can we at least admit that with Drew's exit, this was actually for me more satisfying than the Emily exit?
Oh, absolutely.
1000%.
This was a very nice elimination.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Just like the way that he was talking this whole episode, the groans and the complaining, and just like it was like when that helicopter came over and he was like, "Life's not fair sometimes, you know."
Yeah,
and
life's so unfair, and it's like
you're sitting on an island in Fiji with a 1 in 5 chance of winning $1 million in like 3 days.
Like I think Jake 3 times was
in this point, and like you're complaining that you're on this. You made this show. It's not
like go home.
And that's what Jake kept saying, like, yeah, but dude, like we're playing Survivor, and he's like, yeah, but I'm not eating, and I'm on this island, and he went playing Survivor. And he's like, yeah, but it's just miserable.
I have to scrub the pot. I have to scrub the rice off the pot.
Oh, shut up, Drew.
You know how much rice I'd scrub for $1 million? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. You know how much rice I've scrubbed for nothing? Rice I paid for. Because we made a mistake. That minute rice burning up too bad. Get out of here! Like, shut your face! Like, I can't.
Doing?
The absolute worst.
No,
I'm
like,
so
listen,
sick of him.
I understand that it is tough conditions. Don't get me wrong, but like you gotta, especially when there's a camera in your face, you have to have the minds. Like it's just you're never gonna win with that attitude. It's just never. It doesn't happen.
Right. Yeah. And you know the purpose of you being there, Drew, and it's a very important purpose, and that is to babysit what is going on with the other two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, it's not the best that you didn't get chosen for the reward, but dude, like, you know why you're there. You have to be there. So just shut up and eat your rice.
Not for nothing. Like, yeah, I'd be kind of salty that I wasn't chosen for this great reward, but also like knowing that is the reason why, wouldn't you think like, oh, I'm in a really good spot with these people, that I am trusted to be this person. Like they must value me a lot in here. So that puts me in a good spot moving forward.
Exactly.
Also, like at the end of the day, the fact that he kind of failed in that job on this beach is what sent him home. So,
not to mention that I didn't think. Oh, listen, everybody was celebrating, thinking this was like the best reward ever. You can leave me out of that. I don't need to be in some jaunty old swinging plane. Put me in something with regular wings, not this little propeller thing. Absolutely not. And then you're gonna put me on this sand spit where there's no shade. The only shade comes from the helicopter. What? It's in the middle of the thing, just beaten in the sun with that meat and cheese that's been sitting in the sun for hours as it was revealed. At the thing, like, what are you talking about?
I thought of you the moment the cheese was revealed. I was like, Kyle is livid right now.
Sweaty cheese. Oh, whoopee! Thank God I won. No, please, absolutely not. And I got to eat it sitting in the middle of the sun, nowhere to go, no breeze. I'm like, when does this helicopter take off again? I take my cheese and meat to go.
Some melty cheese.
I don't know. I just feel like this. It was probably so beautiful though, sitting on this sand spit in the middle of the ocean. Like I can't even imagine. Like
I'm sure
that's got to be a once in a lifetime. Like experience.
But how long does that last? Listen, 8 minutes in, I'd be like, y'all good? y'all ready to go?
Oh man,
I don't know. Yeah, no, not for me.
But yeah, so Drew, of course, we've been saying salty. And I do agree that Jake, you know, I loved him saying, you know, like, listen, man, we're on Survivor. Like, we're not doing too bad. No. And it was just funny to me because we saw Jake struggling a lot recently with like his place in the game. And like just this helpless feeling of not knowing like what was real, what wasn't, you know, real, who's lying, who's not lying. So to see Jake like even after all that, and like how he's been constantly in danger, it feels like week after week, to still have that positive attitude where Drew, who has been on top this whole game, is complaining about having to scrape rice out of a bucket.
Yeah.
Like, was just so annoying to me.
And that's the thing too, like Drew being salty in this episode and even like later on when we get to it was so extra frustrating because it's like you admittedly are the person that has been orchestrating everybody's blind sides. So now when you got, how are you so bitter about it? Like someone did to you what you have done to literally everyone else. That's the game. It's the game you are playing. So like, what the hell, man?
Yeah. No,
What the hell, man? What the hell?
Well,
what the hell, man?
I mean, to be fair, I mean, like you're completely right. I don't disagree with that, except for the fact that, like, in the moment, because you thought you were so smart, right? You felt so good. You felt really, really safe. Like, I would have walked out with an attitude too. Like, fuck these hoes.
But like also at the same, yes, but like also at the same time, it's like these are people that like you were building friendships with. Like you've been, I don't know, like at least be like, good luck, like a wave. He didn't even look back. Katurah said bye Drew, and he didn't even even blink. He didn't look back. I just don't. I don't like that attitude, man. I don't like it.
I will say, we have seen right. No, yeah, and I think it was like magnified by the way Drew was the whole episode. But like, I feel like we have had some similar exits on this season in particular. I feel like we've been seeing a lot of people go out looking really pissed off, not even wanting to look at anybody or say anything. Yep. So I don't know if I hold that against Drew so much because but
especially Julie on Twitter, like, see you, Drew.
It's
as if he's gonna turn around and be like, bye, good luck.
Like I see what you're saying, but it's extra annoying that it happens to Drew because he's been so cocky about being so much smarter than everybody else. Like if he wasn't as cocky the whole time and still left a little bitter, I'd be like, yeah, I feel that burns. But like because you've been so annoying about it, I'm like, nah.
Yeah. That's why it didn't bother me nearly as much with Kelly. Because like Kelly did not have a graceful exit either. But like she also up to that point had played a pretty like admirable game. Like there wasn't any like up to that point I'd never had that feeling about her, you know, like there wasn't like a cockiness about her. There wasn't any of that. So like the fact that she left like that and then it has come back on the jury and is like actively like rooting for people involved, like really like animated in the jury. So like it's totally different, I'd say.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think we've gotten to really talk to Jay about how you liking Kelly and Kendra's reactions on the jury? Because this came up, I think, on one of the weeks you were away.
Oh, I mean, I'm loving it. I like seeing an active jury. I really do. I enjoy it. You know, I don't know. It's fine. You know, I like that everybody is engaged. I think that Caleb also has some pretty big jury reaction as well.
I love it. I like every week I look forward to Kelly and Kendra's reactions to things. Like it's one of my favorite parts of the episode. Like,
it's fun to watch. It really is.
Listen, and at the end of the day, if I'm sitting on that jury bench, you are gonna get reactions out of me because I'm trying to get that screen time still, baby.
Right. The more animated I am, the more you're watching. So
that's right. That's right. They're smart enough to do it. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. There was one other thing about Drew that I wanted to mention too, because we were talking about how like satisfying it was to watch him leave, and I've really wanted Drew gone for a while. Honestly, I've been over him for some time.
Me too.
But the fact that like he was, because like in some of Jeff's questioning and some of the tribal council talk, Drew made it very clear that like he was feeling good, that his alliances were locked in, and that he just had to get through tonight, and then he saw a very clear vision to the end. So it was like really nice after all these annoying like analogies and like little phrases he uses and stuff like that to see him go out after like being so cocky about feeling like, oh, I'm definitely gonna make it to the end was very satisfying.
The limbo stick one, man. The limbo stick hurt. That was a rough one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was so nice to see exactly because of exactly how he was acting during that tribal council. It's just been, oh my God, it was so great to see him like, you know, like
what was he like again? I knew Jay would do it again.
Yeah.
I was like, see ya.
Walking out of here with this Napoleon Dynamite ass.
Not
No,
Napoleon
yeah, right.
Dynamite.
Oh my
Honestly,
god, that's really funny.
get out of here.
There was something else about Jake I wanted to bring up too, and we already mentioned that Jake found an idol, and
I've been
I
waiting
did.
for this conversation.
yeah, and we're obviously people that know us, and maybe some that don't know us that well. They all know that we all met each other, the five of us, doing community theater, musical theater, and Jake has that in common with us that he is a performer as well. And so it was very fun as he went to go look for his idol, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to pretend I'm getting changed." And so I have the clip here because it was just so good. This is the only clip I have for tonight, but it was just so good. I just had to, and I wanted to get everyone's opinion. Like, what show do they think he's talking about here? So here's the clip.
Clothes. Plus, it's fun to search in my underwear. You know, I did a play before where I had to be in my underwear on stage in front of other people, so I'm not super concerned about searching for this idol in my underwear. It's good. It was a show. I was in college. So I'm searching for this idol in my underwear.
I love how like he's like joking around, like the music stops, and then all of a sudden he gets so serious again. He's like, "So I'm looking for this idol in my underwear."
I was like, Jake, wait, hold on. Please say more about this. We're the target demographic. I need to know. You have to keep talking, please.
All right. Oh my god.
I figure Gina's probably already looking for the footage of this college performance.
I need to know what it is. I have to know.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think?
I feel like it's gotta be like Rocky Horror or something.
I remember-
I'm hoping it's
I like-
Rocky. I would love to see him in some gold undies. Come on.
But would he be
remember-
Rocky or would he be Brad? I feel like he's giving Brad.
Yes.
I think I looked at his Instagram at one point, and I think there was a post about a production of American Idiot on there. And so that would be
I love that.
That would be my guess. That would
That's
be
fun.
my guess.
That's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like a very college show to do too.
I guess.
So-
So.
Yeah, my
True.
mind went
I'd be so
immediately
on
to
board with that.
hair.
Oh well,
But-
I was thinking that too. And
Okay.
Jay,
Yeah.
yeah, this isn't something else for everybody. Jay and I did hair together, and we didn't do the version in your underwear.
No,
Jay and I were completely naked on stage together.
that's right. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
that is
That's
actually
really weird.
specifically the reason I was not in that production.
Not enough production of it. Yeah, understandable. Understandable.
Mikey
Hey,
and I
listen.
were also in here together.
Yes, we did.
that's
We did
right.
not get naked.
We were not naked either, although I
Okay.
did have to awkwardly grab his ass.
Aw, you guys.
Aw, how special! Yeah, that I remember, but no, we would. It wasn't even like a conversation point about being nakies.
No, it was
Yeah, I
always-
couldn't
No.
do naked. I've done undies. I did American Idiot. I did undies. I can't be naked.
I think
I've had
American
my-
Idiot is
I've
pretty.
had my
terrible.
ass out.
Oh, I love American Idiot. It's one of my
I
favorite
think
shows I've ever
it
done.
sucks.
I
A lot
love
of loud
American
music,
Idiot.
people shouting in my face.
It's so much fun. Mikey's about to leave.
Oh God, this isn't.
It doesn't have an avatar, just at.
Oh man,
I don't know how to put a picture there, man. I don't know how it is. I don't know how this works. I don't even know how to change my name. I'm like a boomer on here, man.
This is another
Oh,
Little
man.
Mermaid scenario. I'm getting nervous.
oh man. But I will say that production of Hair, it was scary getting naked up there, but that cast was super tight and like
It was.
I-
It was. It was.
I know
pretty
Jay probably
liberating.
agrees. That was that was one of the
Yeah,
most
it was. I was something that I didn't. I was kind of just like feeling like, whatever about initially, and then we did it, and I was like, oh damn, like, okay, I do this
Yeah.
again. Like, yeah, but
Yeah.
I understand the other way too. I mean,
And then
It's a
I'll never
lot.
forget the first time we had to do it though, when the lighting cue was supposed to change and didn't. So we were all just standing there like, in like the spotlight naked.
Mikey and I know all about that.
oh my dear God.
But after that,
Yeah.
everything went well,
Yes, it did.
right?
Yeah, after that little.
Right.
Yeah, so Mikey and I one time were in a production of Spring Awakening in which when the sex scene happened, there's supposed to be a blackout, but I guess a bunch of kids had been playing with the lighting board before that performance. So there was no blackout, and Mikey's entire bare ass was just out on stage.
Wow.
Lying underneath him like, please kill me right now.
Like Little Mermaid style, like hands on the floor, arched back.
It was terrible. It was the longest time that anyone has ever been on stage and not talked in the world.
That is awful.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
man. So there you have it.
And it was the night that was recorded, so it is fully present on my
We have the
DVD.
video.
Wow. Roll the
I-
clip.
it-
Roll the clip.
This was a
It's
show,
on
not a
TikTok, it's up
rehearsal.
there. No, a performance, baby. A performance. And no, but like the audience didn't.
Furious.
The audience also like didn't know it was happening, so they didn't realize that it was over. So no one was clapping. It was just dead silence, and us just sitting there like,
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, that's
Oh
awful.
man,
Yeah, there you go. There you
Oh,
go.
I'd do it again.
And I do it again.
Wow.
Good.
So,
All right.
hooray for public
All right.
nudity, you know?
Yeah.
So about
Good job,
that
Jake.
idol.
Yeah, so anyway, about that
Yeah.
idol, Jake's got
Where
that
are we?
idol.
We're
So-
jumping all over the place tonight.
Yeah, we're all over the place tonight
That's it,
because
yeah.
that's just how I felt like doing this. So
Right.
let's talk though about I feel like we talked a little bit about the reward. The reward challenge was fun, you know. It was I definitely couldn't have done that barrel walking and collecting the keys.
That looked
Ooh, I
so
was-
much fun.
I know. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
man, I would have
yes,
been all
yes.
over that.
Me
Like,
too.
put me up on that barrel, baby.
I would
It
have
looked
loved to
fun.
try it, but I definitely would have failed.
Oh, I feel like I would have failed too. Although it seemed like they all did
Mhm.
pretty well getting across.
They did, yeah.
No one fell off.
Yeah.
No.
And Austin won, obviously, brought D and Katura. It was fun to watch Katura as the third wheel, as D and Austin were holding
Aw.
hands on that helicopter.
I know,
Um,
and I was thinking of Gina this whole time because like she was, you know, you've been saying like what is Katura's storyline without hating on Bruce, and it was really nice to see like Katura's backstory. Like I didn't know,
Yeah.
you know, there have been bits and pieces of, you know, her backstory, but I was like, oh damn, like Survivor just keeps like I just keep liking everybody like more and more and more. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, Katura, I just want to wrap her up in a big huggy. And I love too how Jeff is like so supportive of Katura during the challenges now too.
Yeah.
Like specifically like good job, Katura. You know, I'm just like, oh
I am so much more endeared to her the more that I learn
yes,
about her.
yeah, same here.
100%.
I like
Yeah,
that.
100%.
Absolutely.
And we've talked about it. I think last week we were talking, you know, about a player in a similar way, kind of just how we were getting to know them more. And Mikey mentioned it. Like, we're really benefiting from having these 90-minute episodes.
Mm.
So it's been great.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt says, for real, I tweeted this
Yes.
earlier. This is the most likable finale cast I've ever seen. Would genuinely be happy with any of these people winning. And I agree.
I agree.
do
Yeah.
agree.
There's
Yeah.
not one person up there that I would be like, what? No, I don't want them to have the money.
Right.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
No, yeah. There's nobody here that I wouldn't be happy with if they won. So
I'll say
Um,
even Jake, you guys. Even Jake.
Oh.
I
Don't
made-
say even like he didn't
Hold
deserve
on.
it in the
I
first
said,
place.
okay. I said even because I was a Jake hater a few episodes prior.
A
But
Jader,
now
if you will.
I have warmed up to Mr. O'Kane. That's all I'm saying. That's why I say even.
My
Okay.
finger was hovering over the
Careful.
camera off.
No.
I was
No, I
wondering
was
if you were gonna dip out.
I was trying
I was
to
like,
make
let me
amends.
listen. Let me
I
listen
was
to them
trying
before
my
I
best to
before I
make
dip.
amends.
There was a part of me that was kind of hoping you were going to, so I could do it too, and then it
I
would
was
be
like-
extra funny.
No, I was
All
simply
right,
trying
we'll
to make
just turn it out.
amends. I apologize.
Simply trying to make amends. Oh.
And we accept it. We accept it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So obviously we still have to talk about D here. Now there was one thing. So D and Austin, we've been watching them get closer and closer, their relationship blossoming. And obviously D's, you know, big toes have been a really big focus of the season, you know, really helping her with these balance challenges and stuff. So what do you guys think? Is Austin a footman?
Jesus Christ, John.
Oh, crap. Oh, my God.
I thought we were about to get
matter with you?
granular and really get into something. I mean, like, maybe, except that her toes did her no favors with the barrel.
That was.
He doesn't seem to be
with the barrel. Maybe did her some favors with the immunity challenge. Who knows? I mean, you don't know what's going on under that shoe, but I mean,
yeah, I mean, he may not be a toe man, but he's not one. So
I'm not having fun.
If he wasn't before, he is now, baby.
Yeah.
How did we get here?
That is awful.
Oh, wow.
It's John's fault.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
I think we're asking the important questions here. Honestly,
Who's we?
All of us. I think we're all really exploring the topics that people care
I am
about.
just here being inquired upon.
Listen, if he wasn't a footman before, he's a footman now.
Oh my God.
All right, there you go.
Crap.
That was the kind of answer I was looking for. So now we can really get into Dee's game here. And so obviously Dee wins her second immunity. I already saw Matt's comment. We're gonna keep.
Everybody's just up. Oop.
Well,
so
John,
yeah, Dee wins.
the people are
honestly,
inquiring.
honestly, I'm not. I'm
Put
gonna
it
be
up,
honest. I'm gonna be honest. I'm really
All right,
not.
John.
Just so everyone's
there it
aware
is.
what we're at.
Yeah. Not much of a foot guy personally.
Okay.
But
Nice, John.
Dee wins her second immunity challenge in a showdown with Austin. They were going toe to toe. And Dee wins.
You know what? Good for you, John.
And
Honestly, John.
and yeah, Dee wins. So we know she's going to finale night. Jesse from Survivor 43 actually made an interesting comment on Twitter about Dee, saying that we've seen her putting on some good acting performances, being very involved in who's going home. Anytime somebody brings up Dee's name, she seems like she's gunning for them to get them out, and manages to do so, get the votes. And so I was curious what you guys think about this. What Jesse said was that he feels that Dee is the most dominant new era Survivor player, like in these last several seasons. Would you agree with that statement? That Dee, I guess going back from 41 to now or whatever, that would you say we've seen some pretty good players, but would you agree that Dee is the most dominant of this new era?
I mean, regardless of whether or not she's the most dominant, she's definitely been the most successful by far, I would say.
Yeah, and
By far?
Jesse was saying that regardless of whether she even wins the whole thing or not, he feels that she's the most dominant new era player that we've seen so far. That was
the way that
the words
she's
of
been
Jesse
able
Lopez of Survivor 43.
The way that she's been able to manipulate the way that people are voting and the way that people are thinking, and very, very rarely is anybody actually looking at her as a potential option, is something to be talked about.
Oh, definitely. I'm not taking her flowers away, but I also think that we're gonna have a conversation about who dominant is the operative word, right? Because I feel like Austin's not getting a lot of credit for his game. And this is somebody who has never really come up in conversation. This guy had an amulet, and whether he was motivated by that sandwich he didn't get or whatever it was, he did manage to he got that amulet to be a valid idol and had another idol. And I don't know, something should be said about his game as well.
Yeah.
I just feel like he is definitely playing a really solid game. I don't think it's as, I don't want to say as active, but it's not as loud, I would say. We're not getting as many confessionals of him being and here are all of the ways in which I am manipulating the situation to get what I want. He's doing really great in the competitions, and he is socially navigating really, really well. I wouldn't say that he is at the forefront of making the plans as much, though.
Right. And that's why I said like the word dominant is kind of the operative word there, right? Because we're not really necessarily in control. But I don't think that he shouldn't get any kind of mention because he still does have a very strong game here.
Oh,
Uh,
100%. He's got
yeah,
a great game.
that's all. Like I think everyone wants to throw full bouquets at D, and he doesn't even get like rose. You know, like come on, Austin like definitely deserves some credit here. Um, what do you think though about the fact that Dee didn't share this blindside information with Austin?
Yeah, I really
And
was interested to talk
A
about this with you too.
lot of discourse on this I've seen.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like it'll really we'll just have to kind of I feel like we just have to see how it plays out. But like, you know, because again, like we talked last time so much about trust and how Austin shared this information with her to make sure that she understands that he is somebody that she can trust. And by not returning that literally on the next vote, I wonder how that shakes out because you're ending with 5. You still have a little ways to go. Um, and you know, not to jump too far ahead, but there was that mention, you know, we saw in the next one where Katora said, you know, this is our opportunity to blindside D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that something that maybe Austin said, you know what? Maybe I will look the other way on this one because who are you really with? You took away my number one, but when we wanted to come after your number one, it didn't work out. Even though I don't think he has a suspicion that like she is the one who is responsible for that, but like we don't have feeds.
Yeah.
What if he did find out later and he just didn't say anything because he's sweet on her?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's interesting. Yeah, we saw her like really struggling with the whole like survivor morals versus real world morals and stuff like that. Jay, did you want to say something though? It looked like you were kind of gearing up.
You know, it's like it's tough to say this because, you know, obviously everybody wants to win. I think Dee has had this though winning mentality this entire game where although yes, she is in this thing with Austin, there's real true feelings there. Dee wants to win. I think Austin is getting a little bit more wrapped up in these feelings. Maybe not more wrapped up in the feelings, but it's affecting his game, I think, a little bit more than D. I see him coming, you know, D and him having a conversation next week, right? And Austin being like, no, totally get it. It's totally fine. Because I really do believe that Austin wants to sit next to D in the final 2. If he can't win it, and he said this on the episode before, you know, if he can't win this, he wants to see D with that $1 million. And I just think that kind of has clouded Austin. And I think I think that's gonna continue. I really do. I know it's close to the end, but I really think it's gonna continue.
Yeah. And Kyle brought up the next on. Oh, go ahead, Mikey.
I was just gonna say, if anything, too, I think seeing her make a move like that is just gonna cement in his mind a little bit more, like, oh, she's really playing. She does deserve a win here, rather than the opposite. I don't think I don't think he's gonna feel the betrayal all that much. I think he might, but again, at the end of the day, like he played that idol for himself. You know, he didn't play that for Drew. So.
Well, he also didn't think Drew had a problem.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think he would have?
You know?
Do you think he would have? If
I
he
don't
got any...
know. I don't know because at the end of the day, it's like Drew. I don't need Drew to win $1 million. I need me to win $1 million, right? So like, I think at this late stage in the game, playing the idol for someone other than yourself is really, really risky. So I don't imagine that would ever even be a question for him. And I just think like at this point, like it's like, yeah, that's a move. Like, and while you betrayed me because you didn't tell me about this, like, if it were my name up there, I think he would. If it were his name up there, I think he would be under the impression that she would have not made that move. Still, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, it does.
Kyle had mentioned the next on where Katura was talking. It looked like to Julie about possibly going after D. Now, Dee and Julie have been trying to convince everyone that they're pissed at each other and not working with each other again. But do you think that Julie will now use this information and try to protect Dee? Or do you think that Julie might see this as maybe an opportunity coming down to the end where I almost got voted out unanimously. I survived another week, and I love Dee. We've been working together, but if I can make myself get through this next round to get it closer to the end, maybe I have to throw her under the bus. Like, what do you think Julie would do with that information?
I think Julie really wants that Reba Final 3 still. We saw it in this episode. She's very much kept hounding on we could have had a Reba Final 4. We could have had it. And I think she thought she saw Drew as a villain. If anything, I could imagine her going after Austin. But I think I would be surprised to see her really and truly gunning for Dee at this point.
Okay.
It's hard to say because for some reason I think that Julie would jump. I think that she would jump on it. I don't think it would be easy, but I really think that I think maybe a push on that for Julie would be, Dee kind of sitting with her and saying like, okay, this is what you need to do, right? You need to play your idol and you need to vote out Emily, Well, I don't want to vote out Emily. I want to vote out Austin. You vote out Emily. I don't know if Julie's, I don't know if she's still all right with that. I think that maybe it's just like she's realizing more and more that she needs to take this game into her own hands. And it's just a matter of, are you going to go with that comment that you made a few episodes ago? I would never write Dee's name down. Or are you going to take the game into your hands?
I don't know. I do just think at the end of the day, though, there was nothing stopping her from putting Austin's name on that paper. I'm not sure that she sees those moves as much as this is Dee telling me what to do, as she does okay, this is the plan we're coming up with. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is hard to say because, we're also seeing a lot of them talking a lot about, I have to make sure I have a resume building move here, right? And when Julie looks over her game, unless, correct me if I'm wrong, but her only real resume building move was correctly playing that idol. If you're sitting next to the person who kind of gets to claim that move as their own because they're the one who gave you that information, so you played the idol correctly, and it was an idol that wasn't even really yours. It was given to you. So oof, we didn't really earn that at all, did we? That's very easy to debunk in that final tribal. So if anything, if I get Dee out of here, all of a sudden now that has a little bit more value.
Yes.
The person who fed me the information that kept me in the game is who I also helped send home. Send out.
Right. Because everybody's talking about their Survivor resume.
Right.
Everybody's talking about the Survivor resume.
And
on the other side of that coin, though,
than anyone else's.
On the other side of that coin, though, Dee on the jury could be just as dangerous because if Dee is not 100% for Julie in that final tribal on the jury, then she could easily speak up and say, I told you to do exactly that. That was my move. She can still take credit for that move from the jury. So
yeah.
It's almost more reputable from the jury than it is from a final tribal seat.
And can I just also say something about Julie and the jury's reactions to Julie? Maybe it's just me, but do the reactions of the jury not seem to be too much in favor of Mama J?
Genuinely think there's no situation in which she wins because the jury doesn't like her.
Yes, because I'm watching these episodes and everybody's saying, "Oh, Julie's going to get all the jury votes. She's friends with everybody. She everybody loves her." And I'm looking at the jury when Julie's talking, when Julie's voting, the way that they look at her when she's crossing them to go to the voting booth.
The
and
looks between Kendra and Kelly have been crazy.
I'm like, yo, I don't think that Julie has a chance. And it's just funny to see this because I'm like, is this just me or are other people seeing this as well? Because it does not look like they are in favor of her at all.
No, and it does look like we're heading towards a bitter jury in the end here. Yes, I think this is going to be a really interesting final tribal. I think it's going to be quite fun to watch.
And how is the format now of final tribal? Is it just free for all? Everybody make a comment if you want, or is it people come up because this has obviously changed over the years. I'm wondering what it's like in the new era.
They sort of split it into 3 sections and one at a time people come up for a question, but then they kind of open it up to discussion a little bit as well.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So sort of the same for the most part. That hasn't changed all that much. The only real difference now is that they do announce the winner right at Final Tribal rather than
right. Okay.
And just to stay on the topic of Julie again for a brief moment, I feel like, you know, the most recent thing that we remember is Julie using this idol, almost getting voted out unanimously, and then voting Emily because that's what Dee told her to do. But if you really look back at some of this too, like there was a time where we actually wondered if Dee and Julie might be the first crack in Reba. I don't know if you remember that vote where Jake and Kendra were on the block. Julie wanted Jake out because Jake had said her name, and you saw Dee wanted to get Kendra out because Kendra said her name, and Dee was the one that got her way. And I thought maybe that might be, you know, and so I think Julie really does have to like think about this, about like how she's pretty much just been doing what Dee wanted the whole time. The jury's going to know that. And, you know, you could have taken Austin out here to at least split up Dee and Austin. And then maybe Dee has no choice but to have you as her number one, where now Austin's left in the game. So like your last chance to kind of split that up is to try to take Dee out now, potentially.
Right,
you know, like,
right.
If that's what people are planning to do. And I feel like that would be like, look what I did. Like this whole time people thought Dee was dragging me along, and I just kept her around long enough until I was ready to cut her and had the numbers to do it, you know? So,
yeah, this was Mama Julie's chance. She had it right in her fingertips, voting out Austin. And I didn't want it to happen. But that was the play, Mama J.
Agreed.
This really is wild. It's exciting too, to just because I feel like we have no idea what's going to happen. Like truly.
I love that it's anybody's game.
Honestly, I think at this point, Katura and Jake are both like the longest shots, but I see a version of events that happen in the next.
Though, like because you were saying that it's a bitter jury, and the way that they are so clearly endeared towards Jake specifically,
they're also endeared towards Dee though. She walked in with that necklace, and they looked at each other and they said, "Good for her."
But it depends.
I don't know. I just think
she could be the next one voted out. We could lose her at Fire.
What I'm saying is, based off game moves to this point, Katura and Jake have done the least, like objectively.
Mm-hmm.
So but I still see a world in which in the next 2-3 days or whatever, they could pull something off that makes them the winner of the game, is what I was saying. You know what I mean?
We also don't know if Katura's getting that Erica edit. You know, we saw nothing of Erica after she broke that hourglass. That was the only thing we really saw her do. Then all of a sudden, everybody wanted her to win.
Yeah. Now, obviously, I love Jake, but is he overthinking some of these moves? Because we've seen him for a long time now trying to make a big move. And both times that he was trying to kind of rally votes to make a big move happen, his whole plan was revolving around getting it to a tied vote. Like there was a point Katura was like, we can totally pull in Dee to vote Drew out. And Jake wasn't really interested in that. He was like, no, just get it to a tie vote, and then I can convince Dee to switch the vote. Like, is he overthinking some of these moves, you think? Like,
I think he's trying so hard to make the move as big as it can possibly be that he's not seeing how much easier of a path he could have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's just a thought. 'Cause I'm like, man, like when you tried to set up the Julie thing last time, it didn't go well. Like, you know, that vote, like maybe just make sure you have the majority on this vote this time. Don't worry about the tie. That's just all I was thinking.
Right.
You know.
I think too, with this one specifically, I'm sure what was going through his mind is if Katura pulls Dee in, then this is now our move as opposed to my move, which is which is I'm sure is what he was like trying to make happen, trying to accomplish.
That's also
there.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's also not totally fair about sure about like who he can really trust in this moment. Like, do I really want to pull Dee into this? Because like this is Reba going against Reba. That sounds like something I really maybe I should leave that one alone.
Even with Katura, I mean, she's scorned him in the past. She's the reason that
and he knew that was risky.
Got voted out.
But it's also too like if I'm looking at it and I'm trying to get out Drew, and I know that Drew's number one is Austin. and I know that D's number one is Austin. Yeah, I'm not really going to be too keen on telling D about it either, because it's like, well, then, like, exactly what ended up happening. It's like, I have to now convince you to blindside your number one to lose his number one. Like, I don't know if you're going to be down for that.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting.
Tricky.
Did we see Austin's vote at the end? Did he vote for Drew or did he vote for?
I think he voted Julie. There were 2 votes
did, right?
Julie
There
and
was 2
4
votes
votes.
Julie, yeah.
4 votes Drew. Yeah. And okay, so speaking of Drew's exit, obviously we heard him say it about himself in this episode about how he was controlling this whole game post merge. You know, all the moves were really coming back to him, which I feel like he's definitely had a big hand in it. But I feel like you could argue that people like D had.
I'm like, yeah,
you know,
I'm like,
I don't know.
what are you talking about? It's D.
Fooey,
You know-
fooey to you, fooey.
Yeah.
Pulley,
There was a
pulley.
point. There was a point in this game where we talked about how like almost boring it was getting that the Reba 4 was staying so strong, and it took a shot from within to like actually get that 4 to finally lose a player. And it was Drew that tried to take the first shot, and he ended up being the first member of that Reba 4 to get sent out. Like we knew it had to come eventually, but do you think Drew deciding to do this move when he did to take Julie out? It feels silly to even ask this because we're so close to the end of the game and we're talking about 4 people, but like, was it too soon? Was it the right time, but just poorly executed? Like,
I don't think it was too
Like,
soon. I just think he missed.
yeah. Yeah.
If he took the shot and he got it, then we would be having a totally different conversation right now. But he took the shot and he missed, and it backfired in his face. That's what I think.
So is there anything that he could have done differently? Because at the end of the day, like the whole thing was really spoiled by Drew's number one. If Austin had never said anything to D, like, but how does Drew prepare for that? I guess like what can you do
Split the
differently in
vote.
that situation?
They could have and should have split that vote. That was a wild decision not to.
Yeah.
They knew Julie had an idol, even if there was no inclination.
That pissed me off so bad. Pissed me off so
she
bad.
knew no one, even if she had never come up, had the conversation that she did where she like implied she knew what was going on and she was going to play the idol. They knew she had an idol, so it's in the you have to split the vote. You have to. That's just how the game works.
It's bonkers.
It's crazy that they didn't split that vote, and he should have had that foresight. So whether or not I don't think you can give that blame entirely. Like there's blame to be put on Austin, but not entirely.
Yeah,
because there was a way out of that for sure.
And can I just ask, like, who the hell thinks, like, who else could it have been besides D that told Julie about this? I was thinking about that the whole time, like this, just like them being like, yeah, oh gee, I wonder who it was. Like the only person it could come back to is D. No, I mean, but everybody's like,
unless
I don't know who it was.
Also, the assumption that no one told her, and she was just feeling shook, and
of
she
course,
did it, right?
Of
so
course.
they were leaning into that question mark.
Right, but it was like Drew and Austin like sitting with D, like, who do you think told her? It wasn't any discussion of.
It was also interesting
discussion of maybe she just played it on her own because she was paranoid. It was always like, I guess who told her? Like, come on.
Julie also she made an interesting comment in this episode where she both said that D and I are making it look like we're fighting, but she also said that she didn't think people knew how close her and D were, just like in general. So maybe that is playing a factor into it. I don't know. It seems like D is playing a game very similar to the one that Jesse played last, or whatever season that was.
43, yeah.
43.
Yeah.
So
Jesse and Cody.
Jesse and Cody, man.
Okay. I do. Unfortunately, we are slowly running out of time because
we have reindeer games.
We got to watch Big Brother reindeer games and chat about it after. But there was one thing. Now that we just brought up Jesse and then Cody came up, and they were a strong duo. There was some talk in here by Drew and Austin at one point in this episode. They were talking about how easy the game had been, how smooth it had been, and then talking about themselves kind of being like one of the greatest duos in Survivor history. Do you agree with that statement? Do you think that they're up there as one of the greatest Survivor duos?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
So Drew's not
Like, at the end of the day, like they haven't done anything particularly strong as a duo. Everything they've done as a duo has been because they were a quartet.
Yes, right.
Like are they the strongest four to play the game? maybe they're up there for sure. Definitely not the strongest duo of all time.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're talking about JT and Steven. You're talking about Gervais and Tyson. All of these, like, then they got to the end. They climbed the mountain. They got to the end together. That has failed. And we see Drew on the jury. So I don't know.
Drew's
You're on the jury where he belongs, where he's got to be silent.
Get out of there. Yeah, shut up.
Shut up. Yeah.
Drew's gonna be disappointed. He said, he was gonna be in the history books, and
he'll be forgotten after the season.
Okay. If anything, just as a top tier irritant. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. Top tier irritant.
I did just want to bring that up though, because when Drew said that in the episode, I actually laughed out loud. So just wanted to get everybody else's opinion,
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's the same. Thank you.
No.
But so what do we have coming up? It's finale week for Survivor. So we're gonna change up the schedule a little bit. Yeah. So tonight, after this 10:15 p.m. we said, right? Gina and Kyle and I will be back to talk Big Brother reindeer games. And then our next stream after that will be Thursday. We'll be talking, what did we say, 9:15? I made the schedule and I can't remember.
9:15 for Survivor
9:15 p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
Right after
Survivor 45
Reindeer
finale.
Games.
Yeah. We figure we shouldn't wait. Well, next Monday is Christmas, so we won't be able to do Survivor or our normal time then. So we figured this Thursday we'll cover the Survivor finale instead of the challenge, because it's just a random mid-season episode for them. We can just double up next week. Right. And then also Thursday, after our 9:15 Big Brother reindeer games coverage, we'll be joined by our friends at who all going to be there again to finish up the coverage of Big Brother reindeer games, which I can't believe ends already this week. I wish we got a couple more weeks of it. I'm sad.
Jingle jangle.
Yeah.
You know what they say.
So that's what's coming up.
They say.
But yes,
great.
Yeah. And, for everybody out there watching and listening, again, we are Strat Chat, your favorite reality TV podcast. Find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. Everywhere you find your podcast, you can find us. Leave us a review. It's very helpful. Comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. So, come hang out, We're a fun bunch, I think. We're a fun bunch.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, we got to get to these reindeer games. So thank you again, everybody. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Mikey. And we'll see you soon.
Woo!
Lido, 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 Lido.